Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into a high-stakes story of political intrigue, a hidden conspiracy, and what I can only call a divine checkmate. And, believe it or not, it all unfolds in just 5 verses from the book of Acts. Okay, so let's set the stage. What happens when a deadly conspiracy collides with a politician who has no idea what's going on? We've got an apostle locked away in prison, his enemies are absolutely relentless, and a brand new governor is stepping onto the scene totally unaware that he's about to become a key player in a life-or-death drama. All right, so our story kicks off with a classic changing of the guard in Roman-occupied Judea. The corrupt governor Felix, he's out, and a new guy, Porcius Festus, is in. Now, our central figure, the Apostle Paul, he's been stuck in a prison cell in Caesarea for 2 full years. His case was just left hanging, totally unresolved by the last governor. Think about that for a second. 2 years. For Paul, that's 2 years of waiting. But here's the crazy part. For his enemies, the chief priests and the Jewish leaders, all that time hasn't cooled their hatred one bit. Nope, it's actually only made them more determined. So Festus, he doesn't waste any time. He makes a really smart political move and heads straight to Jerusalem to meet the local leadership. And they see their chance. I mean, before the guy can even unpack, they're right there bringing up all their old charges against Paul. But here's where it gets really sneaky. The leaders don't just rehash their old arguments. No, they come to the new governor with what sounds like a simple, totally reasonable request. They ask for a favor. Just a small favor. Move Paul from the Roman capital of Caesarea to Jerusalem for his trial. And on the surface, it sounds logical. The so-called crimes happen there, the witnesses are there. Makes sense, right? But underneath this very simple request is a dark and deadly secret. Let's just call it what it is. This favor was a lie. A flat-out lie. It was a cunning trick designed to get Paul out on the open road. Why? So his enemies could ambush him and assassinate him, the same plot they'd failed at 2 years earlier. This was never about justice. It was always about murder. So the trap is set. The plan seems absolutely perfect. All Festus has to do is say yes. Just grant one tiny favor to these powerful leaders he's trying to build a good relationship with. I mean, seriously, what could go wrong for them? The life of the Apostle Paul, and really the future of his entire mission, is hanging by a thread on this one man's decision. And then, Festus says no. Just like that. He refuses. He's firm but polite about it. But the reason he gives is what's so fascinating. He's not doing it because he smells a rat or suspects a plot. He's just being an efficient Roman administrator. It's just business as usual for him. And this right here is the turning point. It wasn't about justice for Paul. It wasn't about mercy. It was just good old-fashioned Roman bureaucracy. God uses the new governor's simple desire for proper legal procedure, a boring, everyday decision, to completely and utterly shut down a murderous conspiracy. It's a divine checkmate, and Festus has no idea he's even playing. So let's zoom out for a second, because this moment is about so much more than just saving one man's life. It's really about protecting a divine promise. What we're witnessing here is a powerful, real-world example of what we call divine providence. See, God's plan wasn't going to be derailed by hatred or conspiracy. Instead, he worked through maybe the most unexpected way possible. A Roman governor just trying to do his job efficiently. And think about what this one decision protects. It ensures Paul can continue his mission, specifically the one God had already promised him, that he would testify in Rome. The very plot that was designed to completely end his mission to spread the message is stopped in its tracks by a governor simply following protocol. So why does this ancient story of palace intrigue matter to us right now? Well, the lesson here is incredibly relevant for our own lives. The wisdom that Festus showed, probably for just purely practical reasons, actually gives us a really powerful model to follow. It teaches us to look closer at the motives behind requests, to prioritize safety over just making things convenient, and to trust that God can work through established, even secular processes to protect us. And that kind of leaves us with this final thought. This story is a powerful reminder that God can use anyone or any circumstance, a boss's decision, a bureaucratic rule you don't like, a friend's simple piece of advice, to protect us and to advance his purpose. So, where might God be using an unexpected Festus in your life? Keep an eye out. His providential hand is always at work.